And welcome back. We're in the kitchen today. The walls are looking okay, but I've decided to insulate the two outside walls where the back door is and where this window is before I put the kitchen cupboards in. It's easier to do it now. It's not that much money. I'm going to be using the foil insulation. This one is 25 layers of foil and insulation, and it's the equivalent to 240 mil of normal insulation, so that should be pretty good. A roll of that is about €100, which works out to be about £90 in US dollars. I've got no idea what that works out at the moment. I haven't kept up with exchange rates. I need to batten the wall out and then put the foil on top of that, and then more battens followed by plasterboard. It does mean I'm going to have to remove those electrics, but they were never going to stay there anyway. I've just been to the DIY store and collected some timber battens. These are 22 mil thick each. Okay, so carrying on with the installation in the kitchen. Things have moved on. I've disconnected the mains cable that was in the corner and moved that out of the way so that I can fix the battens up against the wall. The electrics will go back, but they'll be behind the plasterboard eventually. I don't know if you can see, but I have measured and marked on the wall where the battens have got to go. And I've already pre-cut and pre-drilled enough battens to do that section. I've got one length which I've marked up, and that's my template for cutting all the others, because obviously each one's going to be the same height and I might as well do it neat. And okay, so I put the first couple of battens in. The wall does go in a little bit at the bottom. I don't know if you can see that on the camera. But, oh, and I took off the tiles that were put in the corner on the part of the wall that's going to remain visible. There's no point dragging those ones off because they're going to be behind plasterboard, so you're not going to see it. Yeah, so that's it. I'll try and do a time lapse of putting these battens on. Okay, so there we go. That's those battens all on the wall. Next stage is to put the silver foil insulation over the battens and then put more battens on top of the battens. So, but that's all for now. I'm going to carry on and batten up the rest of the wall, and I'll see you later. Right, back again. I've spent most of the time battening up all this wall, and I've just put the first bit of the silver foil insulation on. Yeah, cutting it's a little bit tricky. It likes a sharp knife, but it seems to be okay. It's quite heavy actually. It's surprising. There's probably not a lot of difference in weight between this and actual fiberglass, but it's certainly easier to handle. And I got the instructions out of the packet, and on the reverse it shows you how to install it, whether you're doing it on a roof, having it with exposed beams, under tiles, over plasterboard, and as being between brick walls. And the one that I'm doing is this one, which is with plasterboard over the top, and interestingly it says that the battens should only be 20mm thick. So I've got 22mm I think, so I'm slightly bigger air gap than they recommend, and so I'm actually doing it correctly, which is nice. But yeah, there's a section of the insulation here, as you can see, it's foil, and there's various sheets of padding and insulation, more sheets of foil. As I said, there's 25 different layers in this particular one, and it doesn't have a front and a back. It seems to be built the same both ways. But yeah, I've put the first piece up. It's just stapled to the battens, and I think it's going to be fine. I've got to put battens over the top of this again. I've had to take the light switch out, which is annoying, but I need to redo these cables anyway because they're not exactly how I wanted them. But like I say, it was done for a reason, so yeah, we're cracking on with it. Okay, so I've now got all the insulation on the walls, and I've started to put some battens on, ready for the plasterboard, which has got to go over the top of this. One thing I hadn't done on the last video was I put this tape over the joins where the sections of insulation have joined. Not quite sure if I need it or not, but it says do it. I believe it's to make it into a vapour barrier, although I think one wall in the house with a vapour barrier on is not going to do a lot of good, but hey ho. I've already put a batten at the bottom and at the top, as you can see, and all the way around the door and window. I've pre-cut my battens to length. Hopefully these 5 will fit in this wall. And there we have it, that's all the battens on. It's all now ready for the plasterboard. One thing I do want to show you though, before I carry on much further, is the thickness of the insulation. Once it's sandwiched between the two battens, it squashes down to probably no more than 5mm, which, to give the equivalent of 240mm of insulation, that's quite impressive. So that's all the battens on. Next job is to work out how to get the electrics in the places I want them, and then start putting some plasterboard on, I think. So I'll catch you later. Right, moving on. The first wall has now been completely boarded out. As you can see, I'm up to the ceiling. I've used the green hydro plasterboard, so it's moisture resistant. As you can see, I've moved part of the temporary worked surface over to this side so that I can get access to the other side. The electric sockets that I was showing you earlier are now in, and they've got power to them. There is a internet connection in the corner there. I had to run new cables because the old ones weren't quite long enough. These are going to be hidden by cornicing along the top edge anyway when I get the new ceiling in, but I've now got all the cables out the way, apart from the centre light one, which is still going across the middle of the room because I don't exactly know where it's going to go yet. The other cables I've run along this side. These are the lighting ones, and they go down behind the plasterboard to the light switches. I've now changed the outside light switch to an illuminated one. Don't quite know why the regulations say that you have to have an illuminated light switch for an outside light, especially when I have a window right above the door and you can see if the light is on. But hey, rules are rules, and it's what I need to do. So today is the next wall.